Welcome to Kimmy's World. Thank you all for tuning in this afternoon. Listen, we have a great show for you today. First of all, before we jump into that, if you have not subscribed to Kimmy's World, I want to take a moment right now to ask you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I want to welcome Facebook. I want to welcome IG and also YouTube for tuning in on this afternoon for this special show. Now, for those of you all have heard part of this story on Facebook, because that's where I initially ran across this amazing young lady. Now, the story is about a lady called Miss Andronique Henderson. She she will go into details about who she is, but the story is about a mother who abandoned her daughter at 1 years old. Now, go ahead and sit back, relax. It's not going to be a long show. Sit back, relax, grab you something to eat or something to drink. And I am going to bring Miss Andronique up to the stage. How are you doing today, Miss Andronique?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I am doing great. So, the first question I want to ask you is, can you share with us a bit about, well, first of all, tell us who you are, and give us just a brief introduction on who you are, and then we can go from there.
Well, my name is Andronique Henderson. I'm a mom of three, two girls, one boy. I live here in the state of Texas, where I am a 911 telecommunicator and a CPS caseworker. I also enjoy spending time with my children. I do have a business entitled FAF, and it's a short abbreviated for Families Assisting Families in Need. And I also help children along the way who've been through exactly what I've been through.
Wow. So, can you share with us a bit about your childhood and how you came to understand your story of you being abandoned?
Like I said, I really didn't find out until maybe I was like 9 or 10. Like I previously stated. Um, the kids was outside making fun of me. It was like, that's why grandmother's not your real mom. And I'm like, why they always mean to me? Because when you're coming up, kids can say the darndest things, and so they kept saying it's always one of their go-to jokes. And so when I went inside to ask grandma, grandma was like, hey, I'm really not your mom. I am your grandmother. And so I'm like, okay, grandma, what happened? You told me that I'm not supposed to lie to you. Why did you hide that from me? And I probably, I can't say for sure, but it's probably 9 or 10. But I was kind of devastated because now I kind of put the pieces together why my mom wasn't at mom's muffins with moms, why I didn't have a dad at donuts for dad. It started making sense because my grandmother never attended those activities because she was older. Mind you, she was 60 years old when she took me in. So it kind of made sense to me at this point. Like, okay, so now I see why I didn't have a mom at muffins with mom, a donuts, dads at donuts with dads. And that kind of hurt my feelings that my grandmother kept it from me. And I don't think she did it intentionally. I think she did it to protect me. I'm never gonna take that from her because she did awesome when it came to raising me. Um, so when I found out, of course, I'm lost in the logic. Like everybody has a mom and dad except me. I thought I had a mom, but you're telling me something different. So it was devastating, definitely.
So, could you let the viewers know exactly who your dad was and what was he planning on doing before all of this occurred?
Well, my dad's name was Gregory Henderson, nickname was Tree. He attended McCall Senior High School, class of 1985 out of Tallulah. He left Tallulah and went to Jarvis Christian College in Hawkins, Texas, where he pursued basketball for 4 years. And he pursued his degree there in, I want to say it was in science or math or something, but he went on and did really, really well coming from a small town out of Louisiana. And when he graduated May of '89 from Jarvis, he got drafted to the Boston Celtics. May of '89, and literally not even 30 days later, he was deceased. He died. He had a massive heart attack on the gym floor where he graduated high school from. He went home to play pickup basketball. He has just purchased my grandmother a house. He was trying to live out his dreams of being her only son,
Wow.
making it out of a small town. He didn't make too many big purchases, but he did do that. He went on and he purchased her first house. and he didn't even finish paying for the house before he died. My grandmother ended up with the insurance money. She paid the house on off.
So, was your father aware that you were conceived during this time? So, was your father aware that he had conceived you during this time? Like, prior to
Yeah,
him si
yeah. He was aware
so
that I was born. He was aware that I was here. He was aware that, my mother and him had conceived a child. And from my knowledge, they planned to meet up with me the weekend that he died. He was planning to come get me the weekend that he passed away. He was going to bring me to Louisiana to meet the other family. And his best friend ended up calling my mom, telling her that he had passed. And because that best friend was a big jokester, my biological mom didn't believe him. She ended up calling my grandmother and she verified the news that he had did pass away.
so from there, not from your recollection, but from what you've been told, what exactly happened, once your father passed away and your mom brought you to the funeral? What happened?
I was told that she left me with them. She went back to college and she never attempted to come back and get me. Like they say she would come visit. They said my grandmother would send her bus tickets to come see me. I don't remember any of that. I don't even remember seeing her until I was 12. Let me say that. I don't remember seeing her until I was 12. I don't remember her. I don't have no memory of her coming up. But the story that my dad's family, because I only had one side since I was born, I couldn't hear it from her side because, of course, she wasn't there. But my side is telling me, hey, she never came back. She never wanted you. She dropped you off at the funeral and she left.
Wow. Wow. Did she bring any clothes? Did your grandmother tell you, like, did she bring your things? Or did she just have nothing?
The dress that I wore to the funeral is the dress she left me in, and it's all she brought. No diapers, no milk, no formula, no nothing. Just me and the little tote bag that she had traveling. That's it. My grandmother and her children bought everything that I needed from that day on.
So can you go into details about what do you remember about you growing up before you was made aware that your mother abandoned you? Your biological mother abandoned you?
I had an awesome childhood. I had a wonderful childhood. I can remember, having the best Christmas, the best birthdays. When I say my grandmother spoiled me rotten, she did just that, and it hurted me in the long run. But as a kid, I didn't want for anything. I'm talking about you don't know kids my age walking around with the stuff that I had. When I say I was spoiled, but yet she did teach me how to handle money, how to, get up and go to work, how to, preserve myself. And so, like when other kids would be out at 7, 8 o'clock at night, my grandmother was at her front door because she was old, yelling my name. All the kids on the corner knew she grandma was gonna call me because the street lights came on.
Mhm.
So she preserved me. I didn't get to hang out with my friends like they did at 12 and 13. My grandma caught me in the house in the house. I was very sheltered. And I can see reasons why. But again, I was her only son's only child. And so I hated her for it when I was coming up. But as I got older, I see why she did what she did.
You
But I
appreciate.
had the best childhood. If I wouldn't change nothing about it. Nothing.
Wow. So what were some stories you may have heard about your father that you remember people telling you that had known him?
Still, that I have heard that he was an excellent basketball player. Even his coach from high school uh, Mr. Coach Mitchell Riggs, has walked up to me while I was in high school, and he's told me your dad was an excellent player. I got some footage back here I want you to see. He's showed me some footage of my dad playing basketball. He was like, he was it. He had put little old Tallulah, Louisiana on the map. I mean, in some of the friends I've heard, he did pledge Alpha Phi Alpha. Um, he was a great person all the way around, never any trouble. He was very smart, very, very, very smart. And so I do see a lot of what people say in my son. Like they look alike to me. They exemplify a lot to me. But I want to hear more stories. Like there's so much I want to know. Did he have any plans to, for me? Once I was conceived, once he found out about me, do anybody have any pictures of me and him together? I don't have one. I know somebody went to college at Jarvis between 1985 and 89. Somebody should have a photo of us somewhere because they said I was a college campus kid because both of my parents were at college at the time. I don't have a photo of my dad. I'm 36 and I don't have not one photo with my dad. I've never seen us together. It's like people just made up to me because all I do is I get to hear stories. I don't get to see none of it. And it does bother me sometimes, to see other people my age have relationships with their parents, and I would never have the opportunity to do it. So
Did you
it's
have
bittersweet.
a father figure in your life? Besides your grandmother, did you have a male role model or someone to take on that, role as a father?
My grandmother didn't bring any men around me. I've never seen a man at my grandmother's house. Never.
Wow.
Not even a companion or anything. But I did have a cousin who lived across the street from us, and he was married to one of my cousins. Yeah, one of my cousins, and everything he did with his kids, he did it with me. If he would bring my grandmother newspapers on Wednesday, if he bought his kids a snack, I got a snack. If he took his kids to the movies, I went to the movies. He was a real great role model as far as showing me how to change a tire. I never knew how to change a tire until this man got on his knees and changed his wife's tire in front of me. And I sat there and I watched him change his tire. I watched him take care of his home, make sure he brought home, he paid all the bills. So I do have a recollection of what a man is should be in the walks like. He was a very Christian man, went to church every Sunday, covered his family. So I know what to look for in a man, but I've never been really modeled that. Like I know, but I never had the model.
So, during this time, you spoke about how your biological mother brought you to the funeral, but did your grandmother know anything about you because you were here on this earth a year before he passed?
He didn't. He hid me for a year. My grandmother didn't find out about me until a month before he passed. Um, and because he was engaged to another lady at Jackson State University, his high school sweetheart, he was engaged to someone else. So, and he knew my grandmother loved her. He knew my grandmother loved this woman.
Wow.
And so they separated. She went to Jackson, he went to Jarvis, and he created this kid. And so he couldn't tell his mom that he went and made a baby on this lady he was engaged to because he knew that would crush both of them. So it wasn't until his college graduation, that same friend that delivered the news to my mom about him being deceased is the same friend that went found me at the graduation and took me from my mom allegedly and took me over to his mom. It's like, here go Tree baby, here go the baby. And so my grandmother, after the graduation, allegedly, this is the story I got from my biological mom. After the graduation, my grandmother asked my dad, "Hey, is this your baby?" And he said no, and say she slapped him because I looked identical to him.
So, do you think your
True did.
mom was possibly mad at your father that the family didn't know anything about you? And not only that, but his fiance, he had a fiance. I'm pretty sure, like, you've thought probably a million times over, "Why did my mama leave me?" Like, have you ever thought about that, or have you spoke to her
I
about it?
have, and I even asked. I have, and I've even asked. But what bothers me the most, Kimmy, is it's not so much of her story. Now she told me that she was just leaving me to get over my dad. So my grandmother could get over my dad. Like she was grieving. And my grandmother didn't want me to leave. And I can understand that.
Mhm.
But at any point, you did not come back and get me. And what makes matters worse for me, I have a sister who is 3 years older than me. Why did you keep one kid and give the other one away? The baby. I can't understand, and I battle with that because even now,
Y'all just hold on just a moment. She'll be right back. She probably lost some service. She should be right back in just a moment. Now, while we are waiting for her to come back, you could possibly think of some questions that you may have about this situation. Just drop them down in the comment area. Let me see if she's going to come back. I don't see it right now. Okay, y'all just hold what you got. So, anyway, while we are stopping right here for a brief moment, waiting for her to come back, I'm gonna go ahead and remove her from the screen. And then when she gets back in the backstage area, I will add her back in. She probably lost service. Um, First of all, I just want to tell y'all thank y'all for tuning in right now. Go ahead and hit the like button. It doesn't cost anything to hit the like button and share this particular broadcast. There's a lot of things that's going on in our world right now, especially with the nomination of Kamala Harris as our next first Black woman president of the United States. I hope and pray that she wins. Now, y'all know I do not talk about politics on this particular show. But I am happy to know that she will be in the running. As far as of right now, she has already, well, the Democratic Party, well, her campaign has already raised $50 million. And I was hearing that Roland Martin was rallying behind her. There has been so many celebrities that have rallied around Kamala Harris endorsing her. Y'all, excuse me. She's back on, so I'm going to go ahead and add her to the stage. All right. I figured you lost connection. So you were saying that your mother had another child that's 3 years younger than you, and you battle with wondering, she gave you up but didn't give her up. Okay, y'all, she's still coming in. Okay. She is still coming in. We're gonna give her a few seconds. Can you hear me? I'm gonna remove her from the stage until go out and come right back in if you can. Can you go out and come in? Oh, she can hear me, y'all. Can't hear me. Um, so we are having technical difficulties. Can you hear me, Andronique? Can you hear me, Andronique?
can you hear me, Kimmy?
Yes, yes.
I can't hear you.
So go out and come back in.
Okay.
So yeah, while we're continually to wait, y'all go ahead and hit the like button. Like I was saying, Kamala Harris has raised over $50 million for her campaign, and this is grassroots. This are people like you and I who have donated to her campaign. Okay. All right,
Okay.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so you were saying that you have a younger sister that's 3 years older, well 3 years younger than you.
No, older.
And what?
Older. 3 years older than I am.
Oh wow.
So why keep one and not give the other one and give the other one away? And like I said, I didn't find out about her until I got older, and she raised her, and that's really not the issue. Well, it's one of
Right.
the issues. It's one of the issues, but the bigger issue is even now at 36 and 39, you still make a difference in us. Like, she'll acknowledge her on her birthday. We're actually 3 years and 8 days. Her birthday is May 18th. My birthday is May 26th. May 18th, my biological mom will get on Facebook and make an actual post and wish my sister a happy birthday. 8 days later, she will not get on for social media and acknowledge it's my birthday, even after you've already missed 18. She
Mm.
will not do it.
So, go ahead.
And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because, I don't know. I always thought to her, that's her favorite. I've always looked at her, she's her favorite. You know, we could do the same thing the same way, and I will be wrong for doing it. She won't address her, but she'll address me. And that bothers me. It still bothers me. I'm not gonna lie, it does. It bothers me. Even she shows the difference in our kids. She'll acknowledge her kids for graduations and accomplishments. My kids can go do the same thing, and you won't even say anything.
Wow, I'm so sorry to hear that. But I do want to tell you that um you were blessed. You were really blessed, especially with your grandmother raising you because your grandmother gave you things that your mother could never give you. So you were absolutely blessed. I don't know if you see it as that,
Oh
but you were
yes,
blessed. You were definitely blessed. And God shielded you. He really did.
I truly believe that. And that's something she's always instilled with me. You know, I can remember as a little girl, my knees at 2 and 3 saying my Lord's prayers. And, my grandmother wouldn't let me go to bed without saying my prayers. And she took me to church every fourth Sunday because, in the little small towns, we only went to church once a month. But every fourth Sunday, we was at Peters Rock Missionaries Baptist Church on that front row. And she didn't miss a Sunday with her Sunday best on, and I had my Sunday best on. And she's always told me, it's going to come a time where I'm not going to be here. I need you to know who God is for himself. And she's always instilled that in me. And I truly believe if it wasn't for him, me and my kids would not be here. Not where we are. Not in the place where we are. Let me say that. We're not wanting for anything. God has still been good to me and my children. We've never been homeless. None of my kids have ever been in the system. I have never been to jail. My kids haven't been to jail. Like, we are, I see the blessings in spite of.
So let's go back to when you were 12 years old and you said, I'm not for sure if you said that your mom possibly, no, around the age of 8 or 9, you found out that your grandmother was not your biological mother. Now, from that age going forward, did your mother ever try to reach out to you or try to spend time with you or try to get to know who you?
We didn't get a legit phone number. I don't know. My grandmother have always had the same phone number for years. I can remember being a little girl at 3, learning that phone number up until my grandmother passed away. Even after she died, we still kept that number 3 years, additional 3 years. So my grandmother had that same phone number for over 20 plus years. And I can't remember her ever calling that phone. But maybe, like I said, but I was around 12 when she reached out and tried to get me to come to Dallas for a Christmas holiday. I can't remember no time before then. Not saying that she didn't. I can't remember a time before then that she tried to reach out.
So I know you spoke about, when you graduated high school, you went to college, correct? When you were getting ready to go to college, you had to get your birth certificate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talk to the viewers about that.
Oh, the birth certificate was a touchy subject. I went to Grambling, and during the admission process, they require that you have an original birth certificate, not a copy, not a duplicate. I needed an original birth certificate, and nobody on my dad's side had one. They would not take the copy that my grandmother had. And so I reached out to the biological mom, being that I was born in the state of Texas. And I said, hey, can you go downtown and get me an original birth certificate? I need to get in school. So she goes downtown to get this birth certificate. She gets there and they tell her there is no record of birth of you having this kid in 1989. And so she calls me saying that she didn't know I was adopted. I'm assuming she felt like they only changed my name because it was my dad's last name. I had been Andronique Henderson since I probably could write. And I had to be about in the first grade when my grandmother adopted me. But I'm guessing she's assuming that they just went and changed my last name and gave me my dad's last name. Because I've been Andronique Henderson since I can remember. But she told me that they had no record of birth. And I was like, but they adopted me, so maybe they changed it. So she was like, what? Adopted? Like she didn't know anything about it. She claims she didn't sign no documents, no paperwork, no nothing. She claims she don't know nothing about ever signing her rights over.
It's either one or two things that I know. Either I don't know what the laws were back then, but I know right now my parents are in the process of adopting their great grandson. And they can put it in the paper for a
Mm-hmm.
certain amount of time. And if the parent don't come forward, then boom, there it is. That's the way, or she just flat up lying.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't foresee your grandmother would lie to you. I just
I don't
don't.
think she would. I don't see her lying, not about no adoption, because
Mm-mm.
you have to think about it. My grandmother is 60 years old when she gets me. Did you not expect her to keep holding on to me and she's not being able to take me to the doctor? She can't take me to get anything done.
That's
I
right.
need to get in school. I can't get in school
Right.
because so I'm quite sure some things had to be done, but her perception was because my family was this big known well family, my dad was had just got drafted and I was his kid, that they had so much pull. That's her theory. They had so much pull that the people did the adoption free handedly. That's her theory because they had so much pull. I don't think that was the case. And all I wanted to see was her signature because she has this one of a kind signature, and I knew it from a mile away. I went to the courthouse myself, even as an adult. I had to be about 30. And I wanted to know. I wanted to know, did you really do this? Or was my dad's family over exaggerate? I wanted to know the truth for myself. And I went to the courthouse and they told me they could not show me the documents because it was a closed adoption. And that hurted me more than anything because now I'm second guessing again. Like, why did they do a closed adoption? Why wasn't it open? Did she really walk away? Or did she do it so she couldn't come back and get me? I don't know. I, at 36, just wanted to know the truth. I had called myself getting over it, going to therapy, seeing therapists, and actually had gotten over it. It's the triggers of family on her side calling me, telling me, hey, your mom is saying this, your mom wants this, your mom did this or said this. That's what triggered me to make the video that Saturday, July 6th. I had no intentions on getting on a social media platform, putting my feelings out. But because I felt like I didn't have anybody to vent to, and I'm tired of calling my friends, my two best friends are tired. They won't say that, but I know they're tired of even talking about it. And they keep, Angelique, leave her alone. Angelique, leave her alone. Let her go about her business. And I'm one of those people. People think I'm God. I give people chance after chance after chance after chance, and I did that. I gave her chance after chance after chance after chance, and it's not gonna work. I've came to the conclusion I'm okay with not having a relationship with you. I went 36 years without you, man. 35. I went 35 years without you. You didn't teach me how to change a sanitary napkin. You weren't in the room when I had my first kid, the second or the third. I learned how to be a good woman without you. I learned how to do so many things that a mom should have taught her daughter. I learned how to date. I didn't pick the best men, but I had to learn some things on my own because you wasn't there. So there's nothing at this point at 36 that you could ever teach me how to be a woman. My grandmother did a great job. And not saying that I haven't made mistakes and I'm the best mom in the world, but I could have never walked away from my kids. Never. I don't care what kind of storm I was weathering. I don't care how many deaths came about. I could have never walked away from my children. And not only, I don't even have a problem with you walking away. You didn't come back. Not at 3, 6, even at 12, when you met me and you came and got me, you didn't put up a fight. That's a problem that I really, really have an issue with. You didn't put up a fight. She would tell me you didn't want to go. You didn't want to go. When kids started making decisions, we don't make decisions. Kids don't make decisions.
No. Mm-mm.
You're my mom, and I needed a mom, and true enough, God gave me a great one, in spite of. But don't let me get older and start criticizing me for being the mom that I am when you didn't contribute to it.
The thing I wanna say is, you know, you said your mom spoke about, she didn't know you was adopted. It doesn't To me, it doesn't matter what the paperwork say because like you said, at 12, she had an opportunity to be a part of your life, and I don't know your grandmother, but if she allowed you to go with her, then she woulda allowed visits with your mother. Because I know how my mom is with her great-grandchild. She
Mhm.
wants that relationship with the mother and child. A good grandmother is not gonna prevent that, and it seems like your grandmother was an
Oh,
amazing
she
one.
did. She used to pay for the Greyhound bus tickets so my mom could come see me. My mom even voiced it herself. She said she would send me the money to eat and the money for the ticket to come see you. So I don't think for one second in my mind that my grandmother ever tried to keep me from my mom.
Right.
I truly feel like my mom got comfortable with just having that one kid, being able to go to school, finish, and do what she wanted to do, how she wanted to do it. And it was like, oh, she taken care of, she's okay. I'm gonna just let her stay down there. But at the end, and I try to explain this to parents, even with my business entity, we should not hide things from children, even as they get older. And I know a lot of people like sometimes it's better off not knowing. What hurts a kid is finding out that you kept it, that you don't tell them. I'd rather know the truth and know. It's been times where I've dated my own cousin because
Wow.
I don't know who my family is.
Right.
Not that I slept with them, dated them until I took them to the house and grandmother introduced them. It's like, hey, and you know how grandma, them old people be like, who your mom is, who your dad is. And he went to naming, that's your cousin.
Wow.
Kimmy, I passed by my granddad's, my dad's dad. I passed by this man's house every day going to school for 15 years. Walking to school, I passed by my granddad's house. Didn't find out he was my granddad until I was in the 12th grade.
Oh, wow.
I have cousins. I'll probably just find out who I am because of this social media platform or because they know who my dad is. My dad had siblings who taught me in the school system, and I didn't even know it.
Did they know who you were?
I didn't even think I had an uncle because my mom didn't have any brothers. This I'm in the 12th grade. My mom didn't have any brothers. My dad was the only son, was the only boy. So I grew up not having any uncles. I'm in the office in high school. You know, I had the kids going there to fill in for the teachers or whatever when they're on break. And my uncle walks up to me and said, "You know who I am?" I said, "No, sir. I'm your uncle, Uncle Andrew." And I say, "What? My mom ain't got no brother. My dad." He said, "Yes, your daddy do. Your daddy had five other brothers beside me." And I'm like, "What? Miss Kimmy, I couldn't get home fast enough. Granny, did you know?" And she said, "Yeah, I knew. Why y'all keep secrets from kids? Why do y'all keep this stuff to y'allself?" So here I am finding out about a whole new set of cousins I'm in school with. I
Wow.
go to school with cousins that I knew nothing about. Even with the CPS system, I have had cases where I have families who are separated or kids who are separated because an auntie can only get one and a cousin can get one, but they know they siblings. Let these kids know that they have siblings or they have other
Right.
family members. Quit hiding that information.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's so detrimental to our growth. People don't even know it.
that's right. Another question I want to ask you. So you went to Grambling University. How long were you there?
I was only there maybe about 7 months before I got a phone call that my grandmother had Alzheimer's and I need to come home. And mind you, she had five other daughters besides me because I'm considered her daughter because she's my mom
Mhm.
because she's adopted me. So when the aunts called and said, "Hey," because my grandmother was watching my 1 year old at this, well, my 3 year old at this time. And so they was like, "Hey, you're gonna have to come home because grandmother has Alzheimer's and she's not gonna be able to keep the baby anymore, and we're gonna need some help because all of them work." I say, "Sure, that's my grandmother. My grandmother dropped her life for me. I'll drop anything for her." And I did. I withdrew from college, and even on my transcript, with the show you at the bottom, a whole big old W at the bottom. I withdrew. I went home and took care of my grandmother for 3 years
Wow.
until my grandmother closed her eyes. To this day, do I want to go back? Yes, ma'am. I really do. I want to go back and I want to finish it because that was one of my dad's dreams of me finishing school. Like he left this insurance money for me to finish school. Miss Kimmy, I probably didn't get $5,000 of that money, and I'm talking about there was a couple of hundred thousands of
You know,
dollars
I just saw that video and I want you to talk about that whole situation about the money. Where did the money go? And not only the money, but you should have been entitled to some form of social security.
because my grandmother adopted me. I was questioning that because I wanted to go to Social Security and ask them that. I don't know, but from let them tell it, I didn't get any benefits. Let them tell it. I don't know. I didn't get any benefits. When my grandmother adopted me, even still, I thought I could have got draw benefits under her, but they claim I didn't. Again, my grandmother started drawing Social Security, so she took her name off that money because she was trying to get approved for Social Security. So she took her name off the insurance money.
Wait a minute,
Listen,
wait a minute, wait a minute, hold up. You
this
should
is
have
the
got a
story.
social security check.
I didn't get it,
But we're not
but because they were saying because my dad hadn't worked, he had never worked. I didn't get
you
it.
would you would draw from your grandmother.
And that's what I thought. I thought that, but they telling me, Miss Kimmy, I didn't get nothing.
Now you would draw from your grandmother because my
They,
sister has custody over her grandkids and the kids. mm, mm, mm.
it's sad,
But that's you can't cry over
and
spilled milk.
yeah, but that could be the issue. But they claim I didn't draw any benefits. My grandmother drew Social Security, so me and two of my aunts' name went on this CD where this couple of hundred thousands were. Right, it's only three of us on this account. Like I said, I didn't find out about this till I was in the 12th grade. My auntie, who's a registered nurse, took her name off the money. Maybe about 3 or 4 years before I turned 18, because she was having to pay taxes on that CD. So she took her name off it because she said it wasn't benefiting her and she's paying taxes on the money. It didn't benefit her at all. She was well off. I always have been well off. I had another aunt who pretty much did 80% for me. It was just me and her. And when my grandmother told me about the money, she told me it was for me to go to college with. Mind you, ain't but two people on this CD. In January of 2007, I needed $200 or $300 for a book, and I remembered that that money was there because I had completely forgot about it. I ended up going to get that book, trying to get that book, and that card declined. I called Capital One and they told me that account here was closed May 25th, the day before my birthday, my 18th birthday. So the account was closed May 25th, 2006. I turned 18 May 26th, 2006. The account was closed the day before my birthday. Not one dime. I probably total,
So you
Miss Kimmy probably had 2,000 of those dollars, maybe two. And I'm going to say two because, like I said, my grandmother sent me to get 1,000 for my school stuff, and then we spent maybe like 1,000 on college stuff, like my dorm refrigerator and stuff like that. And I probably got $2,000 of that money, but I know some aunt's house got refurnished. I know some aunt's house got some new furniture, some new ceilings. We got some new cars. I didn't get one though.
oh shoot. Y'all, hold on. Her service. I'm gonna remove her. I hope she let me let her know to go back out and come back in. Y'all, while y'all are waiting, go ahead and hit the like button. I know Miss Andronique has a Facebook page, and you all can follow her on Facebook. Let's see if she's here. All right. Can you go out and come back in? I don't know if you can hear me. Let me see. Let me tell her go out and come back in. Y'all, hold on. Y'all know how your service be, child. But make sure y'all go and follow Miss Andronique Henderson on Facebook. I believe she also has a TikTok as well. Um, uh, her Facebook is her Facebook is Andronique Henderson, and her TikTok is Andronique Henderson. ANDRANIQUE Henderson, HENDERSON. And you all can follow her story going forward on those social media platforms. Okay. Let's see. Okay, she's back. So you were saying a couple of auntie houses got furnished and roofs
Yes,
and
ma'am.
stuff.
They got new cars. We saw new furniture. I'm talking about house remodel, and I didn't get a car to even drive to Grand Money. I had a best friend named Kirsten who would drive from Alabama every other weekend, and she would drop me off going home. That's how I got home back and forth. They wouldn't even give me a car. Didn't even want to teach me how to drive.
Wow. So
So
how do you
even though
cope? Go ahead. Go ahead.
so even though people say my life was perfect there, or they thought, oh, I had a better opportunity, when it came to the raising part of my grandmother raising me, I had an excellent upbringing. It's the things that were done that I'm thinking that she's not aware of or may not have been aware of that bothers me the most when it comes to that. Um, Even after she passed away, like I said, so I didn't get the money from my dad. I didn't get anything. I didn't get nothing out of that. Even when my grandmother passed away, the insurance money allegedly was supposed to be split between her kids. I'm her kid. And even in the midst of us searching for policies, they found the old policy of my dad's that had not been cashed. I didn't get that either. I didn't get a dime. So I kind of believe when my mom says it's like a money hassle, But I kind of believe that on her end too, because you could have took me with you. So my mind is: did anybody really want me for me? Did anybody really, really, really want me for because I was who I was, or was it because I'm the man who probably went to could have went to the NBA's daughter?
So I believe your grandmother had great intentions, and I
She
truly
did,
believe
she did,
she
but I
didn't do
don't feel
anything for
like
money. Maybe not
no.
the aunties.
Right. Then I ain't gonna say all of them. I'm not gonna say all of the aunties because I got some good steppers now. I'm not saying all of them, but it's one or two that I'm not pleased with right now. But um, 80% of them, I can call and say, "Hey, auntie, my bill a little short. Can I get a little something, something?" And auntie's gonna make sure her nieces are straight. But not all of them. But I didn't. My life could have been so much better had people done right by me. Let me say that I could have been well off if people had done right by me. And I feel like even now, me and my kids suffer because people won't do right. So out of those five aunties, all of them have their own houses paid for. Okay, I'm the only one that don't have a house paid for. And mind you, I told you my dad bought my grandmother a house. Okay, he
So
bought
what happened?
my
So
grandmother.
what happened to the, Granny
So
house?
so let me explain to you what happened. So
Oh
2 years
God.
ago, the sisters decided that they would put the house. It would go from air property to me and one of my aunts' name. Okay, they decided that the house would go into two of our names instead of five of us.
Mhm.
So I didn't like the idea because again, everybody has their own house except me. I'm the only one that don't own a house. Again, my daddy money paid for the house. Okay. So me and my aunt's name go on this money. 3 months after me and my auntie's name gets finalized on the house, she dead. So guess what? Now I got to share the house with her
Right.
7 kids. So her
Wait,
seven.
wait.
Mhm.
Did she have that in the will?
No, ma'am. It's
So how does that?
automatic Louisiana law. So say for instance, if I died today,
Oh my God.
my kids will become my heirs of that house. So why am I paying $2,100 for an apartment and I got a house in Louisiana that's mine, but because certain people don't want me there, or because it's so many stipulations behind it, it's crazy. Because
Nobody.
if my dad bought my grandmother this house, why are we arguing about whose house it is? I'm his only kid. I don't have to split it with nobody. Why do I not have a house?
I'm gonna tell you what my dad tell me all the time. You cannot get wrong. You cannot do wrong and get by. You can skate a little while, but you're not gonna do wrong and get by. You won't. Either you're gonna pay for it in this life or you're gonna pay for it in the life to come. And what I want to tell you is you keep doing right by people because
Mhm.
right is going to follow you no matter how hard it may seem. God still got your back.
Mhm. I
Because
believe
trust me, he ain't failed you yet.
he all
He
I
ain't failed
got.
you yet.
Hear me? That's all I got. Me and the good
And
Lord.
and your
That's all
grandmother
I got.
instilled that in you at a small age about knowing how to pray for yourself, knowing how to talk to God.
Mhm.
So when you can't talk to nobody else, you can talk to the Lord and tell the Lord, give it to the Lord, let Him take care of it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So
I just would I wish people would do me the way I do them.
they
It's
don't.
like, in it hurts me in a sense. It does bother me because only me and my children are suffering. Everybody's saying that they hate things went the way they went. I don't know. I just feel like I have this cloud of bad luck over me. Had my dad been living, could I have been well off? Had my grandmother still been living, could I have been well off? Had they taken the money he left for me and actually gave it to me, could I have been well off? If they able to take the little money that my grandmother had in insurance, would I probably would have been well off? I didn't get nothing. So after my grandmother died, the whole dynamic changed. And everybody in this small town saw how they had did me. Everybody knew. Everybody saw it. And so people were just coming up to me, giving me money, offering me stuff. And I'm not one of those people. I don't want to be a charity case. So the man offered me a job. One of my dad's old classmates offered me a job at the prison because he knew what had happened. He knew
Wow.
about the funds. He knew about the money. He knew how my family was just downright doing me.
Wow.
And so he gave me a job at the prison. I went and worked at the prison for 2 years. And after I was transporting inmates back and forth from one part of Louisiana to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, I ended up finding another job with better pay. This man helped me move. I don't know a soul
Wow.
in Baton Rouge. I don't know a soul in Baton Rouge. I had one cousin, and she had her own family, her own husband. But I moved down there with faith. Do you hear me? Some Hebrews 11 and 1 faith. No, I didn't see nothing, didn't know nobody. I took me and my 3 children at that time. This was in 2012. And I moved to Baton Rouge and didn't know a soul. I felt like I didn't have nobody anyway. So why not? And when I got there, things just started happening for me. I started getting promotions and just working my way up. I went from $7 and from my hometown to double my salary when I got to Baton Rouge. Like
Wow.
God looked out for me and my kids. And so I ended up getting in a domestic situation 5 years later, and that's what made me move to Dallas. And I was like, I called my mom. I was like, hey, can you help me? I'm trying to leave this, and I got this going on. I got some job opportunities lined up already. Can you help me? And she said yes. I wasn't here 48 hours. And she was like, you could go and blah blah blah. And I went to my sister's house. Luckily, she was willing to sell me and my 3 kids. And I ended up staying in my sister's house until I stayed there 2 months, and then I ended up in my own place. I started working for Dallas County Juvenile Department within those 2 months, and I got my own place. And I've been here ever since for 6 years. Me and my mom live around the corner from each other. Round the corner. Me and my sister live around the corner. Now, me and my sister have a great relationship. Matter of fact, my niece is here now visiting. We have a great relationship. We try. We know we really really got like as far as supporting each other. It's hard on her and it's hard on me, but our mom is not mom. Like even now we're older and we'll never say that we don't need a mom even though we're older. It's nothing like calling somebody trying to get a little more wisdom than what you have. And I'm one of those people who can be open up to that. I can open up to what I don't know it all. I would never know it all. But there's ways that you could be there for us and you're not. And don't think in the back of my mind, Kimmy, that I haven't thought about, her upbringing and her mom's
Right.
upbringing. I think about the generational curses, but where we gonna break it is. She's the oldest of three. She felt like, her life was so hard. But if you knew your life was hard, why would you push anybody else's life to be hard?
Mm, mm. So, what does your mom do for a living?
She's a math teacher here in the DFW.
School teacher?
Very good too. Very good teacher.
So, what steps have you taken to heal from this experience?
my
Or what
first
steps are you taking?
my first step was to actually get her side of the story. That was my first. I wanted to talk about it first. I did that, and that's when she gave me her version, and I kind of learned from it, and I went from there. Once I saw that we would probably never be on the same page, I went and got me a therapist, and me and my therapist we meet up twice a week, and we talk it out. And I still find myself getting frustrated because I'm still trying to rear my children healthy. But if I'm not healthy, my kids aren't going to be healthy.
That's right.
And so I do find talking about it to her does help me. And it's some things I'm still not willing to accept. but I'm working through it. I'm trying to work through it because I'm still trying to figure out why am I at 36 still dealing with abandonment issues? Why am I at 36 trying to figure out, is this where I'm really supposed to be in life? Most people already have it, almost kind of have it figured out by now. And I find myself questioning what it is that I do. Am I doing the right thing? Because it's like that even with relationships, friendships. My biggest fear is abandonment. I'm feeling like everybody gonna do me the same way she did me. It's hard to get over. It's so hard, and it's people can tell you, oh, you need to just get over it. You're 36. Because don't think from that video I only got the sweet talks back. I got some ugly comments. I got some ugly inbox messages. Oh, you're 36. Grow up. Accept things for what it is. It's easier said than done when you're not walking in my shoes.
It's I talk about all the time, people handle trauma differently. And the
Mm-hmm.
way you handle trauma does not mean somebody else gonna handle it the same way. And you gotta think you was 1 years old, meaning that your mother, I don't know if she nursed you, but she took care of you and you had that bond with her for that first year. And those are crucial moments. Like when you crawl, your your mom saw that. When you walk, she saw that. Like she changed your diapers. And I don't know if you can remember, like, what was your first memory? Because sometimes you can remember what your crib looked like. Because I remember what my crib looked like, and I'm 47 years old, and I
I can only
remember.
remember sleeping in the bed with my grandmother. I can't even remember. I can't even remember a time with her, and I be trying so hard to create a memory. Like where did you leave off it? Like I don't remember her at all. It's like, and like I said, I was only 13 months old when I got to them. Like I don't remember anything about her. Nothing. I'm talking about I don't remember a feeding. I don't remember a outing. I don't remember anything with her. My my first fond memory of her is when I was 12. I came down here for Christmas and I took a lot of pictures. I met a lot of different people, but that's my first fond memory of her. I don't have any memories before 12. Any. And I can remember having more conversations with her after 12 than did seeing her. Because I think I saw her at 12, I saw her at 15, and I saw her at 18. I only saw her 3 times after I met her when I was 12. I only saw her 3 times.
I mean, I don't know how your mother feels. I don't. I can't say why she did what she did, but she's probably, which it shouldn't really matter, but she's probably having a hard time coming to terms with what she did herself. And when she look at you, that probably bring back some things that she just don't want to admit. And
Hmm.
it's not right, but if your mother is watching, I just want to tell her, it doesn't matter what happened in the past. You still have an opportunity right now to make things right. And she can start creating memories with you and her grandchildren right now. Because what happened in the past happened in the past. Oh, well, you know, that's something that she's going to have to heal from and that you are trying to heal from. And I know you want that relationship with her, correct? Some form.
I did. But at this point, Kimmy, I'm so tired of cutting myself. I'm taking my hands off so God can fix it.
Okay.
Because when I fix it,
I understand that.
I hurt
Right.
myself every time I fix it. So I'm taking my hands off of it so God can fix it. Because if I fix it or I keep trying to fix it, it never works. Like I said in the previous videos, it's been times where I've sacrificed my own life and my children's life to help her. Like, you had COVID. I went picked you up from the hospital and exposed me and my own children to COVID. I ended up in ICU. You couldn't come see me.
Oh my.
You wouldn't even go put a bottle of water on my doorstep so my kids could eat, knowing I wasn't at home with them. It's times where you done fell out, in places and people have called me to come help you or to come to the hospital. I'm there. I drop everything I'm doing and I'm there. So for me not to be able to get the same thing in return bothers me. Because guess what? When my sister had cancer, you was there. When my sister had her first baby, you was there. I never get those memories. You and my sister had more pictures together. I can only remember one picture me and my mom have together, and it was a selfie that I took while we were riding in the car together. She wasn't even looking in the camera. That bothers me because people don't realize to me, they was like, you always putting stuff on social media. You always putting stuff, you always taking pictures. And my auntie said that at a funeral last year. I said, sometimes these pictures will be all we got. You know how bad I wish I had a picture with me and my dad, and I can't get it. My mama gonna close her eyes at some point in time, whether I'm going first or she going. They not gonna be able to put a picture in our obituaries because we don't have one. If you do, it's gonna be one of us by ourselves, and we'll never be one of us together.
So, how has this experience shaped your identity and the person you are today?
It shaped my identity to realize that I'm really a genuine person. A lot of stuff that I've been through, I try not to talk about it. Like I said, I've had this hit in my soul for 35 years. Nobody has ever known until I made that post. A
Wow.
lot of my family members are just finding out about, and they probably gonna still find out some stuff tonight when they watch this segment. But a lot of stuff family don't know because I don't say nothing. Because I keep stuff bottled up inside, or because things have been a secret for so long, people don't know it. And we still have family secrets that I probably would never expose, but I have to deal with it. So I'm trying to get me some therapists to help me deal with it. I'm 36. Do you hear me? Three, six, three children. And I'm trying to be a mom. I'm trying to go to work. I'm trying to pay bills by myself. I'm trying to cope with trauma. I'm trying to help other kids cope with the trauma while I'm coping with trauma. So it's hard. Hey, mind you, did I just tell you I was a telecommunicator? I'm helping people every day. I'm 911 12 hours a day. So I feel like every night I go to bed, I'm okay because I done help somebody if it ain't but one person. Even through my business entity, if I don't do nothing but talk to one person, I'm okay with it because I done help somebody get through their day. People don't realize genuine can just be you. You don't have to put on a facade. You don't have to get on. I don't need the social media. Like I said, I came on here July 6th just venting because I just wanted my mom to get the message. I could have called her, but that wasn't gonna do nothing but end up on an argument. And I try not to go there with the
Right.
disrespect. I could have called my best friends again. They tired of hearing me. I got some great feedback. I got people who with similar stories. This stuff. This it's not just me. This happens to people every day around the world. I
That's
was
right.
one of the people who decided to share it. This stuff happens all the time. I didn't come over here for some people to feel sorry for me. I didn't come over here for a GoFundMe. I didn't come over here for all that. I came over here just to get my feelings out, and I thought it was gonna be the end of it. I didn't expect nobody to say, "Hey, come give me a part two and a part three." I wasn't expecting to, hey, can you come on and give me an interview? It's another lady asked me to come on and interview next week in New Orleans. I don't even live in Louisiana. But if my story would help somebody get over the hump, I'll share it all day. People don't know how many suicide attempts you done contemplated on because your mama done told you some stuff and you done recollected it and it came across your mind today. Or because your dad done said this to you today. Whatever the case may be, people don't realize the trauma that everybody is experiencing, even in these times. Hey, I live in the DFW. Well, we know you got to make some money to live here.
Very expensive.
And so I'm doing the best I can, Kimmy, with what I have. With the cards that I was dealt, but not asking a soul for anything. And God been making a way for little old me. He been making a way. So I give my grandmother her flowers. I gave them to her while she was living. I still continue to go out there to Backland Cemetery and give them to her Mother's Day, birthday. Father's Day for my dad. I've never spent a Father's Day with my dad. My dad never got to experience a Father's Day.
Wow.
That bothers me. People don't realize that not having a dad affected the way that I dated men, the men that I chose to father children with. So it's a lot.
I was just going to ask you a question about how has your relationships with others been influenced by your experiences of abandonment? And you answer part of that.
Yes, it's hard. It's been really, really, really hard because you feel like everybody you get with gonna leave you. Like I said, not just with me and my friends.
Right.
My best friend, she graduated college for me. She got married before me, and mind you, I went to college before her because she went to the army. She got she graduated college before me. She got married before me, and we still best friends. We live less than 30 minutes away. I don't go over her house every day because she got a husband. I want her to enjoy her husband. I
Hmm.
love to see my best friend happy. She's traveling the world. She's a retired Army veteran, living her best life at 36. I love that for her. I want to see people be happy. I just want people to get the same thing vibe about me.
Hmm. So, what advice would you give others who may have experienced the same similar circumstances as you?
Do not let these stories hinder you. Do not let your past hinder you. Be the best version of yourself. Be authentic. Find whoever it is you believe in, God, Abba, whoever. Find your person and actually give him some
Mhm.
praise. When I tell you, if it had not been for the good Lord on my side, I don't know where Andronique and her kids would have been. I had to really find out in my hardest times who I really was and what I stood for. And it's just being a genuine person. I give in. Forget the shirt off my back. I give you the bra off of me. That's who I am, and it's not just giving. I want people to treat people how they would want to be treated,
That's right.
and that's all I had. My grandmother always told me that you got to treat people how you want to be treated. And I've always believed in that. And I be trying not to get emotional because it bothers me that everybody's so big on who my dad was and what he stood for in my own family would do me the way they do me. It bothers me a lot. And I'm not. I can't sit up here and fake it out. It bothers me.
Wow.
It really does.
You made a post a day ago and I read it today and I was like, whoa, this is heavy. You said, my loyalty kept me in situations my common sense should have took me out of. Y'all just ponder on that for a moment. She has dropped off. She'll come right back. I promise y'all she'll be right back. But while we are waiting, y'all go ahead and hit the like button. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in and for being patient with us during these technical difficulties. If you would go ahead and subscribe, follow her on her social media platforms. You can go on Facebook. It's the same name as she has here. And also on TikTok as well. I know she has both of those. So make sure y'all follow her. But let me add her
Okay, Kimmy,
back
what was your
in.
question?
Um, you made a post a day ago, and when I
Hmm.
read this, it shook me to my core. I was like, "Whoa, this is deep." My loyalty kept me in situations my common sense should have took me out of. Girl, if that ain't a read right there, what did you mean by that? If you want to talk about it,
Yes, like
or how can you relate that to this situation? Gummit, y'all. She got bad service, child. I know, cause I got bad service here too. Y'all know I be in and out. Let me remove her. But y'all go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and like. Let me know how you are liking this one on one with her. Let me know if you would like to hear different topics like this. Now you guys know that we will be having another person coming for August the 1st. Um, And many of y'all know about that particular case. It's about a young lady who had triplets, and one of her children was, I don't want to say, but one of her children is no longer here, and the babies are only 4 months old. So she will be coming forward on August the 1st, and we will be having that conversation with her. So let me go ahead and add her back in. Okay. Did you
So,
get any of what I said?
yes, ma'am. So when
Okay.
I mean by that, when I tell you that I'm real life a stand up individual for people, and I shouldn't be. Again, I feel like I was standing the gap for you time after time after time, even though I should be standing down. I will stand up for you when everybody else will sit down. A lot of people tell me you should have been left that relationship a long time ago, or hey, you should have been left that job a long time ago. Because of who I am, again, chance after chance, I'll stand there and walk with you, work with you, and I shouldn't even be there. You know how many people tell me, "Oh, I would have been quit talking to that aunt," or "I would have been left that aunt alone," "I would have been left that mama alone." My granny didn't raise me like that.
I was going to ask you that. Yep.
My granny didn't raise me like that. She never gave up on any of her kids, grandkids, right or wrong, hell or high water. She didn't do that. And I find myself mimicking her a lot of times to where even now the kids don't want to go home. Everybody want to be at my house. Mind you, I'm in a 3 bedroom apartment. Everybody want to be over here. And I'm okay with it because this is the kids' safe haven. And I go out my way for you. When sometimes I know I shouldn't even be doing it. There's where a situation where I just dropped what I was doing, left my house to help take care of somebody while they went through cancer situations. And when my turn came around, for me to go through my situation with the ICU COVID, I didn't get the same treatment. But because you're that family member, I'll do that for you. But when it come to me, I can't get it. So when I say loyalty, my loyalty should have been took me out of stuff. My common sense should have been taking me out of. That's what I mean.
Wow. So, what are your hopes for the future, both personally and then in terms of your journey of healing?
Personally, I want to get my business going up and off the ground. Like I said, I've already got it rolling. I got it LLC, um, business website up, all that. I want to see people take me and my story and grow. I want
What
people to
is your
take.
what is your business website? I'm gonna put it in the chat.
It's going to be www.faffin,
F
FAFIN, LLC.
wait. Slow down.
I'm
Slow down
sorry.
now. Hold on. Let me see if I can
W.
I'll put it in later. Go ahead and just go ahead and say it.
Yes, it's www.faffinllc.com again, and it is listed on my Facebook page on my cover page. The Instagram, the all that you can have access to it. I want to people, especially my hometown, where we don't have any recreational activities for our children. We don't even have a park to take our kids, and I'm fighting with Louisiana's governor right now to get that park up and running for our kids. We don't have any recreational activities, no YMCA's, no nothing. So I'm working on it, even though I'm here in the state of Texas. I'm working on that to take that back home because our kids need something. I'm trying to get a back to school drive up and running right now. I need everybody who's somebody from that little old place to pitch in so we can take care of the kids back home as well. Because I can remember my grandmother taking me to those back to school giveaways, making sure, hey, you get that paper, that pencil, that this, that, and the third. So I want the other kids who are less fortunate to be able to do the same thing because we rank the lowest in the poverty rates in America. If you look it up and Google it, you'll see I'm not lying. We don't have nothing there. Not a Walmart, nothing.
So, what can people do if people, because people are gonna be able to watch this.
Mhm.
What can they do to give back as far as for the back to school? Do you have anything where people can?
So I haven't set up a PO box. I don't want to give out my personal address,
Mhm.
but I will set up some things where hopefully probably tomorrow I can go get me a PO box and set it up. But I do want people to reach out to me if they can. Hey, we need it all: paper, pencils, backpacks, you name it. Anything. I'm grateful for anything just so we can set something up for those kids who are less fortunate. Uniform, a shirt, a top, a sock, something. When I tell you it's a trying time back home, it's a trying time. And any time that I can donate, I do it, and I don't put it on a social media platform because, like I said, my grandma was one of them people. What you do for people, you don't have to announce it. And so, usually every other year, me and my best friend, find a family and we'll donate to that family. But I want to be able to reach out to more people who are, less fortunate, not just one or two families. So I'm trying to get a group of vendors together and trying to put something together before August the 10th. That's my deadline for me. Again, it's a lot. Everybody's struggling right now. We know that everybody's struggling. But if it ain't nothing but a 97-cent pack of pencils, two for $1, I'll take it. Matter of fact, I'll put up my address. I'm not worried about nobody. No, not my personal address.
I'm like,
I
no, don't
put
do
up the
that.
PO box. I'm not worried about people finding out where I live. But that's one of the things that I do want to do. I want to reach out to the kids who don't have it. I can remember where my classmates. Some of my classmates would come in. They might not have had this color shoe, or they didn't have the decent shoes most kids wear. Anything. I'm not turning nothing down for these children, and I want to be able to see people to see where their money is going. I want to be able to go to my hometown and give back because that's where I came from. I will never forget what Tallulah has done for little old me.
So, have you thought about doing possibly maybe a cash app, setting up a cash app for back to school?
I'll
Because
post.
sometimes, yeah, and then I can share it for those people that want to give.
Yes, ma'am. I'll post when I send you the information for a Cash App, PayPal, all those platforms for sending funds. But again, my children are okay. We ain't the best, but I want to see other kids and other families come up. I want to see those moms not stressing about where they're gonna buy supplies. Buying the clothes is already hard enough.
Mhm.
So I understand. And like I said, although my grandmother did what she could, we still, I don't know why that lady made me look like we were still struggling. But she did that. She made it look like we ain't had no
They do
money.
that.
But
They
she
do
did that, and she did good. She did good. That lady had some good credit, and I don't have the credit that she got, but she had some good credit.
that.
She sure did.
So before we close this out, I want you to talk about your business.
Okay, so FAFN,
Go into mhm.
FAFN is abbreviated for Families Assisting Families in Need. And like again, I said we're a family, so we can help another family. And what FAFN does is I go out to domestic violence shelters, I go to school assemblies, I go to the juvenile justice centers, I go to the jails and the prisons, and I give them the raw deal of what they're going through. I don't sugarcoat it. And usually with those school assemblies, I make sure that those kids have permission slips because I talk about things that some parents probably scared to touch on and they need to. We talk about where we live, it doesn't affect our children. If you take your kid to South Dallas, don't tell me just because they were raised in South Dallas they can't become nothing. Yes, they can. It doesn't matter where you raise your children, it's what you put in them. And so I'm just going to share one of the stories that I do have is one of my assemblies that I do share with everybody on every platform, whether it's the DV, whether it's, abandonment, CPS case. We let our daughters do just about don't do nothing. We let our sons do everything they want to do. I had a lady at Louisiana Correctional Institute for Women in Baton Rouge who took a charge for her son because it would have been his third strike. Do you hear me? Because that's the kind of heart we have. We don't want our son to go to jail because if
Wow.
we go to jail, he got a life sentence. As I stated before, Louisiana has one of the highest incarceration rates in the
Mhm.
world. I'm trying to deviate that. This lady took a charge for her son because it was his third strike. She thought the judge was going to tap her on the hand because it was her first offense. She got 20 years. Not even 72 hours into her sentence, her son was dead. So
Oh
I
my
said,
god.
yes, ma'am. So now what I heard is me walking the clergyman to her door, letting him knock on her door and telling her, hey, your son was found deceased this morning. But
Jesus.
had she let her son took that third trait,
He would have lived.
he would have been living. He probably wouldn't have been living the way she wanted him to, but he'd have been here and she'd have had her freedom. So we talk about the things that we'll do for our kids. When people say, "Oh, you'll go to jail for yours," I'm not going to jail for mine.
Mhm.
I'm not going to jail for nobody. You do the crime, you do the time. And I tell them all the time in my in assemblies, if you want to make you some money in Louisiana, Texas, go get you a balloon company or a t-shirt business. Get you a balloon company because we're gonna do balloon release.
Wow.
We're gonna do balloon releases, and we're gonna put some shirt. We're gonna put some faces on some shirts because that's what the black culture do.
Ah, Lord.
If you want your kid to make some money, do that. And if you're gonna let your kids sell dope out your house, get them in some insurance. Get them in some insurance. If you're gonna let your kid run your house, get you some insurance because you're gonna bury them. Because the streets gonna take them out because you don't want to raise them.
That's a fact.
Oh yes, ma'am. And I tell them all the time, you want to make you some money? Get you one of them two companies right there. Because some shirts gonna be pressed. You, Golden Gate Funeral Home. He gonna stay in business. Because every other Saturday, we're gonna take one of your sons and one of your daughters out there because you don't want to raise them. So I tell them all the time, this ain't what you want to live. So a couple of months ago, I asked for somebody to donate me some handcuffs, and somebody did. I don't remember who it was. They sent it to me from Amazon. I'm taking these handcuffs in. This is gonna be my first year introducing the handcuffs into my assemblies. I want to show these kids what it feels like to be locked up, only with parental permission. How it feels to be chained to somebody and you can't go to the bathroom by yourself.
Mm.
You can't determine when you're gonna get up and eat because the correctional officer knocking on your door telling you it's child time. You're gonna either eat then or you're gonna go to bed hungry. The kids don't realize the decisions that they make is gonna affect them every day. Every day.
Wow.
So that's what I do. I go around and I give them the harsh reality of what these things are like. I can't tell them that if I ain't never experienced it. So that's why I tell them, hey, I done been a CPS. I done worked it. I know how it feels to be separated from families. I'm
Mm.
one of the ones who will go into your house and take your kid from you and go put them somewhere else. Do CPS want to do that? No, ma'am. People have CPS all crossed up and they say, oh, they just want to take your kids.
No,
Ma'am,
they
no, I don't
don't.
want to take your kids. Guess what? Them CPS workers have to sit there with your kids. That's no, our CPS's goal is always family reunification. So if we don't want you, we're gonna take you to another family member.
Right.
And so I try to, and like I said, I can't talk about nothing that I don't experience. Domestic violence, I've been there, done that. It's not easy for these people to leave. When we gonna say we gonna leave this time, we gonna leave this time. I need to get them. I need to get a hold to them when they first leave. I'm gonna make sure they don't go back. It's hard. I've been there,
Wow.
been there. Abandonment. I could talk about abandonment all day. I've been there. Juvenile justice, 3 years. I've been there. I watched 10-year-olds come to jail for drugs, aggravated murder, robbery. I've been there. I can't talk about nothing I ain't been through.
Wow.
So that's what FAFN does. School
Wow.
assemblies, I travel. I'm coming. You book it, I'm coming.
So how do people get in contact with you to book you maybe for a school
I,
assembly or for like
I've,
a church event or something?
I've listed it on my social media platform on Facebook. I do have a business card that's listed. I'll send it to you as well. I do have a business phone number. That number is 972-512-0738. If I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that business card because I don't know it by heart. But again, I want those kids. I want them while they're young.
Well, Miss Antronique Henderson, I know your grandmother will be absolutely proud because she has done a marvelous job raising you from you turning your trauma into triumph. Whether you have a college degree or not, you are helping people through the pain that you suffered, through the abandonment, and you don't want other children to go through the hard things that you went through. Although it may not have been hard like some of these other kids, but that's hard being abandoned by your mother. That is very hard. My heart goes out to you. And if there's anything I can do or anything my platforms can do to help you, trust and believe I'm here to help.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
just want to thank you for coming on the show today. I know I canceled on you last week,
That's
but child, I
okay.
done started this daggum Ozempic.
Let me know how that goes for you.
But I appreciate you for coming on the show. Do you have any last words for the audience tonight?
No, ma'am. Just like I said, Hebrews 11:1 is taking me a long way. I'm all right.
What is Hebrews 11:1? So without is that the one?
Now
So
faith,
without faith, it's
now faith is
impossible to
substance of
please
things.
Him. For
Now
he
faith,
that cometh to God must
is-
believe that He is, and that He is a rewarder that diligently seek Him. Something like that.
now faith is the substance of things, hope for the
Oh,
evidence of
said the
things not
wrong
seen.
scripture. Said the wrong scripture, y'all. Now faith is the
The
substance of
substance of
things
things,
hoped
hope for
for,
the evidence
and
of
the
things not
evidence of
seen.
things not seen. Wow. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show, telling your story. I know you've touched some people today. And if there's anybody who have any questions in the from this show, just drop them down in the comment area, and I will forward those questions to Miss Andronique Henderson. Thank you so much for joining Kimmy's World and sharing us your story.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, Kimmy's World, for tuning in today. I appreciate each and every one of you all for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe, and also share this particular broadcast. Thank you, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for tuning in on tonight. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you. Cause you're just that subscriber. Like and subscribe.